FBI agent Stuart Kaplan has been with us all evening long. And Stuart, you heard Stephanie say there are reports out there that Santiago had contact with the FBI. Is it possible that he was on their radar?
You know, the FBI comes into contact with many, many different people for many, many different reasons. And again, the FBI can only keep track of so many individuals, and it's not just enough with respect to the procedures that are in place right now for a family member or some employer to suggest that someone may be suffering from some mental infirmary for the FBI to then do something else. There has to be something else, and that's part of the constraints that the FBI deals with day in and day out, and that's why we need perhaps some reorganization with respect to how we look at these things moving forward.
Viewers who may be watching might think, well, how did he have a gun, you know, in his luggage? But he legally checked that in because, as you have been telling us throughout the afternoon, there is a process to check in your gun, and it's done very specifically. But that was something that he, you know, very well could have done before, and just, you know, he picked it up at baggage claim, and then they say he went into the restroom, and that's where he loaded it.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, the transportation of a firearm in this day and age is a matter of routine. It's done many, many times a day on many, many different flights. I think maybe a different issue that needs to be addressed is that the mental health issue is self-reporting, and that is a burden that is placed upon the license holder or the gun owner. And that, I think, is where there's a little bit of a loophole. And if we're going to rely on people to have to self-report or rely on others, I'm not so sure how effective that is. And I think that may need to be taken a little bit of a closer look at, because it seems that there are a lot of indications here that this person was suffering from some disabilities. There were enough people out there that were reporting it, and notwithstanding, he still was legally able to possess that firearm.
Let's talk a little bit about what is happening right now. If you can kind of walk us through the investigative process. This happened just before 1 o'clock this afternoon. It's been 6 hours. I mean, these poor people still on the tarmac, some still in airplanes sitting on the runway.
Well, as Todd reported, as your colleague reported, who's still down at the airport, the tarmac, for all intents and purposes, is still shut down. And the crime scene is huge. We're talking a massive place here. And so, again, there's not going to be a rush. You know, they understand, and I'm sure they're getting phone calls and tweets and emails and text messages. And of course, just the backup of flights that are being held on a ground stop. It has a trickling effect, because it's not only affecting here in the state of Florida, in Broward County, but for those flights that were supposed to be somewhere else have an exponential effect on many, many different locations. But the priority here is we have someone in custody. We know there's going to be a criminal prosecution. We must preserve the crime scene because we don't want to miss something. And if it takes 12 hours or 13 hours or 6 hours, they're going to take their time to ensure they only get one bite of the apple and they don't want to miss something.